In today's video, we're talking about premium pro level tablets, things like the Samsung S10 series and the iPad Pros and iPad Airs. Now, they tend to offer a lot of the features that pro level users would like. So things like your general browsing, right the way up to video and photo editing. Yes, they can do all that with dedicated apps or even third-party apps, depending on what you'd like to do. So there's a ton of great options. However, there's always a barrier with those tablets, and it always tends to be price. The base entry-level iPad Air, which is a starting point in price-wise of all the three that I've mentioned, is around $700 euros or pounds, which can be an issue. So things like this, the 12.3-inch 3K OLED Honor Magic Pad 2 does offer a greater value for money proposition. So this right now, alongside a keyboard case and pen on Honor's website, will set you back £399.97, which is insane value for money, again, as of this video. But let's talk about some of the key specs. We've already mentioned the 12.3-inch 3K OLED display, which is at 144 Hz. You also get 8 GB RAM, which is turbo boosted to 12 GB RAM with 256 GB of storage. You also get a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 processor as well within this. So that's some pretty beefy spec. We'll get into the minutiae of all this in a second, but then there's so much to like, enjoy, and love. Let's actually talk about what you get in the box of the Honor Magic Pad 2. Essentially what you get is, as expected, a pretty basic unboxing experience. When you lift up your box, and the first thing you'll be greeted by is the actual 12.3-inch Magic Pad 2 itself. Within all those small little squares and rectangles, you're not going to find much. What you will find is a cable that will support charging of the Honor Magic Pad 2 at 66 watts. If you have a compatible plug that will reach that speed, 66 watts is sick in terms of charging speeds, better than the competition we mentioned earlier prior to this bit of the video. And also, you'll get your normal manuals and inserts. Now, when it comes to charging, let me quickly touch on that. Sometimes you're limited by what you can get that will support high-end, fast, rapid charging. Well, this Anker Prime gallium nitrate 3-port 100-watt charger could well be the perfect solution to support something like the Honor Magic Pad 2. Not only will it charge this, you can also charge your phone, your earbuds, your laptop, anything, your watch, all at the same time. So this is a super convenient thing to have. And as I quickly showed you there, it's pretty easy to make this an even more compact addition to your carry-on luggage, or if it's something you're just going to throw in your backpack. So you can check this out in the description below. We'll directly link it to Anker's website and to Amazon if you wanted to shop this as well, which again, we highly recommend as we daily use that anyway. One of the main attractions, and I guess the main attraction, is this stunning 3K 144 Hz 12.3-inch OLED display. So why don't we show you and talk you through our thoughts on this stunning panel. Now, in terms of watching content, the panel really comes to life when you're watching any sort of content. So be it photos or videos of the family, or if you're just on YouTube watching sort of nature documentaries, or just a documentary in general on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, whatever it may be, that's when the display really comes to life. You get great, deep, rich blacks, and then also the colors really pop on the screen as well. And yes, you do have the functions in here to add video enhancer mode as well, which allows the video to sort of pop that a little bit more. This feels super great. And yes, it feels great, and yes, it looks great, and yes, the performance of the screen is great. But when it comes to really pushing the processor and the RAM and the tablet itself, what does that look like? Let's show you some performance on the Snapdragon 8S 3 using the Honor Magic Pad 2. So the performance of the Honor Magic Pad 2, as you'd expect, is really great. In fact, in our experience, there has never been a single element or moment where this has slowed down or crashed in any way. And now we'll talk about sort of the keyboard performance and the pen performance as a starting point, just to give you an idea of what those two look like if you were to try and find something that was a laptop-esque replacement. Now, the keyboard itself, doesn't have much in the way of key travel, but generally speaking, for a keyboard that attaches to a tablet that tries to mimic a laptop experience, I would say it does perform reasonably well. I would say it's a more compact keyboard, so if you're daily using something like a MacBook or a Windows laptop that has a wider sort of field in terms of separation of the keys, that might be an issue, but overall the keyboard is very, very good. And then the pen and the stylus. One thing I would say though is with the pen, you don't get a dedicated app on here that allows you to draw, etc. Yes, there are some downloadable, yes, there's some that cost, yes, you can, but essentially you're using the Notes app with on the Honor Pad, Magic Pad 2, goodness gracious, that will allow you to create and write, edit, etc. as and when you please. And again, the function of that pen, again, is very good. It's not, I don't think, at the level in terms of sensitivity and intricacy as something like the Tab S9 Ultra that we use pretty often and use the pen quite often. Is not at that level, but if you were to tell me that you were spending 400 to 500 pounds on a tablet and then you wanted a pen that offered you an input to draw, etc., is a very, very good option. Now, in terms of everything else, let's move on to things like gaming. Again, performance in terms of gaming, running that 8S Gen 3 on this stunning display is great. Need for Speed, running this game right now, runs very, very seamlessly. No slowdown, no screen, no sort of like frame rate drops. Performance is very, very, very good. So if you're using this as a big screen version of your gaming phone, or you want an extension of your phone onto here because you want a sort of larger screen experience, it's a great, great tool. And let's move across to the OS itself. Very similar to Magic OS as you get on your phone, but there's small quirks in here that make it a more tablet refined experience. Is it a comparative to say things like Samsung DeX or iPad OS? Probably not, no, but I think what Honor have done here is they've optimized a lot of what you get within a lot of apps to support a larger screen like this on the Magic Pad 2, and it runs really, really well. Tons of customization options, tons to make this tablet really your own. And yes, you can use it for the kids and then have separate profiles for yourself if you wanted to. And then multi-screen, things like that, transitioning between apps, browsing the web, all those run very, very well and often a really, really good premium experience. And like I said, we daily drive an S9 Ultra and genuinely will tell you there's literally little to no difference between this and the S9 Ultra. That is double the cost when it came out, such as the S10 Ultra as well, as this on a Magic Pad 2, which is seriously impressive. And then let's talk performance around things like Wi-Fi. Again, performs very, very well. The Wi-Fi tests, we run it, probably should run it at a less busier time, but there is throttling involved on that connection. But generally speaking, there was no issue in terms of getting Wi-Fi across various parts of the home. So a really, really great experience. Overall though, what are our thoughts on the Magic Pad 2? What I would say is, if you're in the market for a really good premium tablet that offers you a lot of the experience that you would find on tablets that cost 800 to £1,000, such as the S10 series, such as the iPad Pros, such as the iPad Airs, then you can't really go wrong with the Honor Magic Pad 2. This is a compelling package. It offers tons of really, really great features, loads of value for money, and more so than anything else, it allows people to have a premium experience without the cost. There are a few downsides, like the lack of a plug. The cameras are so-so. How much to actually use them, I don't really know. We've had an S9 Ultra for quite almost over a year now. Never used the cameras. Don't see avenues from them. And that's why we haven't really touched on them in this review either. They're pretty basic and they'll do the job, but I would say that isn't why you'd buy a Pro sort of tablet, is for its cameras. It's very unrealistic. But for everything else, this performs very, very, very well and is highly recommended that if you're looking for something with a big screen and you don't want to spend, like I said, 700 to £1,000, this could well be one of the best options available to you right now. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, as always, we out.